John was working in his science lab, got blasted by gamma rays. Now he's Smash Trivia John, always smashing. He's friends with Ruffalo, in love with Aslan, and also some arrow weaving. John's here saying, hello my gamma friends, welcome to the show, the Gamma Analysis Podcast.
And hold. Smash.
Hello, my Gamma friends. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Smash Trivia John. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram by searching Smash Trivia. I'll be one of the big old green knight in the profile picture. This is the Gamma Analysis. Basically, I'm going to review everything Hollywood movies, TV shows, and also do randomly geeky films. Hope you enjoy. Smash Trivia presents the Gamma Analysis. Well, ask everyone listening, please do something for me. Please share the hell out of this podcast with all your friends. If you don't, I'll be angry. Now let's smash right into this episode. Today's episode is a review of the 70s Incredible Hulk TV show, Season 2, Episode 18, titled No Escape, with my friend Keith. How you doing, Keith?
I'm doing good. Been reading a lot of Ernest Hemingway, and I'm just playing with my gun. Having a good old time. How you doing?
I'm doing good. This episode I enjoyed a lot more than the previous one. I thought this was a really fun idea for an episode.
Oh yeah, and to see, this is an episode that tackles some darker stuff, some real life stuff that people go through. It might be a more sensationalized version of it, obviously, for television, but to see a show kind of focus in on mental health and the treatment people get from it is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I think is interesting to think about with this episode. So, Ernest Hemingway passed away. I think it was 1961. And this is 1978 when this came out. I kind of wonder if, like, back when this would have came out, if people would have thought it was too soon making something iron like this. It's like imagine these days. I say someone made a fun plot on, and it had to do with someone believing they were someone like, say, Heath Ledger. Like, people would probably be like that feels very distasteful. It's not even been 20 years since he passed. I'm like, it's just interesting. It's interesting to me. I'm like, I'm very curious about what was the reaction at the time when this came out. Since it had been in just like 17 years or something. Since Ernest Hemingway had actually passed away.
Yeah, and I mean, people, I assume, because of it being so close to when he was still alive, like, maybe people would have got the references a lot more.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of it I had to look up when they were talking about stuff. I was like, oh, that must be a Hemingway thing, and you can assume, right? But then it's like, okay, now that in this moment he's talking about a short story about Kilimanjaro. Like, you gotta know your Hemingway to really catch on. But then David finally does explain it. Yeah. But it would be interesting to see if there was some backlash at such a close time. You said he passed away when? 61?
I think so.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Something like that. I'm not sure. Let me look up just to make sure. But yeah. It was like definitely I'm feeling like less than 20 years or something. I am, and like that's just interesting to me. I'm like I feel like there's a chance that there could have been backlash.
Absolutely. I was taking my time understanding what the heck was going on, to be honest, than seeing him like reference Hemingway more and more. I was like, okay, so this is someone going through something. I thought it was kind of interesting, the depiction of showing like having schizophrenia and having like almost like flashbacks, but of a life that's not yours. and the way they depicted it on screen was pretty neat.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool looking.
Of course, any episode where you've got Jack McGee in there is a good time.
Yes. Ernest Hemingway passed away July 2nd, 1961.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which like
17 years.
It sounds like, and I don't actually know. No. Okay. So it just like the show said. And the real life Ernest Hemingway did die by suicide. The fact that they made that be a part of the plot. Is wild.
Yes. Yeah, that's a dark thing to put on like a family friendly show that kids would sit with their parents and watch together. I don't think this is made for super mature audiences, but this episode certainly feels like it. One of the things I was shocked at was the fact that you start the episode and David is basically down on his luck, has no money. He's just sleeping on a bench in a park somewhere. Like he's just the fact that his nomadic lifestyle would kind of make sense for him to not always have a room somewhere or a friend somewhere willing to put him up for the night. It is kind of a little more realistic, which I was surprised by.
Definitely. Like, though it is so weird to me that just sleeping on a bench aside to get him arrested.
Yeah.
Like it's vagrancy, I know that is like a thing in real life in some places, but like that's so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's not very sympathetic to and that's what's the thing I heard recently, or it was depicted in a show called DTF St. Louis. David Harbour plays a character explaining to his stepson, you see how that bench over there has like an armrest in the middle of it? That's called hostile architecture. And it's made specifically so that a homeless person could not sleep on that bench in that park. And it's like that is a thing that exists. I see that all the time, even where I live. Is like shocking to me when they do that shit. It's like that's rude. I get it, but I also get that the way to help these people is not to take away places for them to be able to safely, nap.
One thing I think I noticed, I think, is a bit of a mistake. So at the beginning of the episode, as these cops are throwing David in the back of their this police van, does David ever mention to them any kind of name? I don't remember him doing that. But then the next day, the chief of police person is talking to Preston. It's like one of them was named David Barron. I'm like, how do you know that?
Him. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, they cut around that part, I guess, where they took his ID or I guess he wouldn't have an ID on him, so they took his name and interviewed him somewhat. They just skipped over that
somehow
because they had to rush over and talk to Sherman Hemsley.
It, at least to me, seemed like they just literally walked him over from the bench and immediately put him in the vehicle.
I found the most fascinating thing about this episode was the relationship between this Tom Wallace guy who thinks he's Ernest Hemingway and his friend Robert, who's played by Sherman Hemsley, which it's very weird that my wife and I watched our first episode of The Jeffersons like a week ago. Like neither of us had seen it before. We're like, you know what? Let's give this a shot. What the hell were people talking about back then? And then we watched an episode. Yeah, George Jefferson.
I've never actually watched The Jeffersons, but I've seen him play his character from The Jeffersons because he's Fresh Prince he played him there. That's a really interesting thing because so this episode came out during the time when The Jeffersons was also coming out, which means that at some point, I'm guessing like maybe between different seasons, he he shaved his mustache so he could appear in this episode without a mustache.
To break the character of playing George Jefferson, maybe. It is kind of cool. I wonder if because it just his character was such a weird. I didn't understand their relationship. Like, so does he like run away from his wife every now and then go talk to this guy and stay with this guy and write books? Like, how long's he been doing that?
I don't know. It was definitely weird, but I really enjoyed the character a lot. Um, you know, I think I really liked in this episode was the role Jack McGee played. So it's because and mainly because it's one of the rare times where like there's actual continuity going on. So he references in this episode multiple times how he saw David transform into Hulk, and also because of the fact that David saved his life in that two-parter, the Mystery Man two-parter, or he also was not willing to let the cops shoot Hulk.
Which I also thought was weird. Why the hell were they even aiming their guns at the Hulk? He was just standing on a houseboat. Just like monster.
I thought that was really cool because that is some great character development. Like earlier this season, he himself was trying to kill the Hulk.
Yeah.
He literally in one of the episodes he had a gun and he was going to try and kill the Hulk himself. But and now he's like, no, you can't just kill him. I really like that. That I thought that was really cool. We'll see that bit character development.
Well, he spent time with the guy now, and he knows he's a man.
Yeah.
He knows that he transforms into this beast. It's not just some mindless drone, but that there's a person inside. So it's kind of it is really nice to see Jack McGee grow. He's still obsessed with him. It hit that shot where he kind of pushes his way past the screen door of Tom Wallace's wife and sees David across the entire house. He's kind of in the shadows, but it's just like you just laid eyes on him. He's right here. It's a nice little suspense that they keep going with Jack.
Oh yeah, but it does feel like now he's not just obsessed with him because he wants the story, but he also does care about him.
Yeah,
and he wants to make sure he's okay.
Yeah. The compassion that he can show for him is like, okay, this is Hulk's best friend at this point. we need to see Jack McGee track this guy down and help him out and not write a damn story. That's the main thing. He has to give up that story, and being like the top reporter on the case. It's like give him a fighting chance. Maybe see it from his side if you got so much empathy now.
Yeah. One thing I thought was a really cool little thing in the episode. So at the end of the episode, did you recognize who played the police sketch artist?
Yes, Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
Yes. Hell yeah. I was amazed to have my suspicions confirmed as well, because it is kind of a blink and you'll miss it kind of thing. But if you don't know what Jack Kirby looks like, it's very easy to miss. But it's nice that they would throw that cameo in there, because how many times has he drawn the Hulk? It's just funny.
That's cool. I think that's really cool. Which I think that this is actually the first cameo in a Marvel thing from one of the writers. Stan Lee wouldn't start making cameos until the trial of the Incredible Hulk TV movie either happened in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I think this is the first time that any of the writers or artists really actually got to appear in something like this. I think that's really cool.
It is. It's starting a tradition for sure, and getting to be the first one even before Stan Lee is pretty dope.
Also cool, just the aspect that it's one of the only ones that Jack Kirby ever was able to do
True.
since sadly Jack Kirby passed in '94 before most of the Marvel movies that he started being made.
Yeah. Yeah, because even like at that point, a lot of people think that the first thing, if they haven't watched the Hulk or things like even the Fantastic Four movie that didn't really get released, it's kind of hard to track down. They just assume that the first Marvel stuff put out there is like Blade and X-Men. It's like, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, there was a shit ton of stuff earlier than that,
Uh,
and not just cartoons.
uh,
Yeah.
this is one of only three appearances in anything that Jack Kirby made. A first one was a episode of Starsky and Hutch where he played a police officer. Then we have this episode of the Hulk, and then he appeared alongside some other comic people in a sitcom called Bob about Bob Newhart,
Oh yeah. One of the many one of the many shows that Bob Newhart has had that's like
yeah,
named after him. That's cool.
which that episode that he appeared in of the Bob Newhart show or Bob also featured both Bob Kane and Jim Lee.
Wow. What the hell?
Yeah.
The trifecta. That's a big deal.
I so it seems like so this show is about Bob Newhart playing a
Version of
comic
himself.
writer or
Oh, there you go.
comic cartoonist and in this episode Bob is nominated for an award, and or so I'm guessing that these different comic book legends appeared at this award show.
That's cool. That's a smart. I didn't know that he was that was his character. I thought Bob Newhart was mostly like I thought he was like a therapist in one of them. He's had so many shows, and they kept relaunching Bob Newhart shows. I think one was called Newhart, one was called Bob. Like I think he's had three at least, but I didn't realize one of
Mm.
them he was a comic book artist. That's cool.
Yeah, I read that the other day. I was like, "Ooh, that sounds like a fun show."
Yeah, I'd watch that.
Yeah.
The one I'm not sure which one I've seen clips from, but I have seen clips of one of his
Mhm.
shows. I think it was Newhart, and they had some really funny writers, and he's a writer as well. Um, but I was impressed by this episode because I love anything that criticizes and kind of comes out in that era of basically like what they called the anti-psychiatry movement, where at the time it was very much criticism against institutionalized psychotherapy and how ECT or electroconvulsive therapy was no longer kind of an okay thing or a behind closed doors kind of practice. It's still legal in different forms and different strengths, which is insane to think about. But
Mhm.
the fact that in the 60s and 70s, like one of my favorite movies is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nicholson, and it very well depicts the unnecessary use of like a
Mhm.
cure-all that they would act like it was like gonna fix, if this guy starts acting up, we'll just electric shock therapy him and that'll tame him, that'll calm him down. And it's like that is a horrible torture device to be using on people.
Oh
It's
yeah.
all about control instead of about healing. So to see Tom Walsh's character kind of go through these, even though they weren't
Mhm.
his memories, they were fictional, because it was all Ernest Hemingway. It did actually happen to Ernest Hemingway, so it's kind of a cool thing to
I
tackle. The
feel
show
like though, like
surprises me.
with his memories, I feel like it's a mix actually. Like some stuff is what he read, but it's like
Yeah,
mixed into what's actually happened to him.
yeah, I would bet. Yeah, he's probably turning like I don't know that much about schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia, but the I would imagine the hallucinations come from something within your actual life, and
Yeah,
then
like
just have a new lens planted over them, kind of thing.
like
Your brain's
like
coming up with it, right? So
like we know that he sees Hulk in his visions because
yeah,
of seeing Hulk actually in real life. I've and
yeah,
so even though the doctor said that they did none of these things to him,
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were some things behind closed doors that were done to him
Oh, most
that are
definitely. And then to
that is why he's the way he is, and that's and so there that also being like why he sees some of these things in his
yeah,
visions.
and I like to the conflict for David for the most part in this episode is the fact that he's kind of responsible for the guy escaping and being possibly a danger to other people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also that this guy is talking to people about having seen a big green man. And it's like, well, that did actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that wasn't a hallucination of his.
Uh,
So yeah, I love that he has to David has to make amends for something he created.
I love I love how one of his hallucinations just Hawk coming at him and then stopping and breaking two oak trees out of the ground.
Yeah. Really early on too, in the first Hulk out, he runs past these two cops that are just kind of standing perfectly spaced on either side, and he kind of throws them like they're doing a dance move. It was just very rehearsed looking, just slow-mo tossing a couple of cops that are putting their arms up in the air like wee.
With that first Hulk out, so I find I'm really funny is just like why did he randomly go to a laundromat? Like,
Especially a laundromat with 50 cents per wash. Holy shit, man. My building charges me $3 per load. But anyways, yeah, he scares the shit out of those kids. Just standing there though is really funny.
then he goes to look at a washer that's working. And he's just like angry. It's spinning. Like, well,
Making him dizzy.
okay.
It's rude. I like that he's kind of figured out that okay, David's gonna want me to get clothes on when or at least get him some clothes for later. So he's like kind of fallen into a routine. He knows where to go now. He's learning. He's not even raging out anymore. He's just walking around as the Hulk, just waiting to de-transform. And it's like, okay, are you really angry right now? I guess you could be angry at this machine. The spin cycle is kind of annoying. Why is it taking so long? Are they still damp? Damn it!
Oh,
Ah,
this episode, even more than the last episode, it annoyed me the idea that people don't know the Hulk exists. As this cop is like, it. My cops are definitely just delusional. They didn't actually see the Hulk, Mr. McGee. I'm like, your cops saw sign that exactly replicates what's in McGee's paper, and
yeah,
you just don't believe them. I'm like, why?
yeah.
Why would you
Multiple
not believe
accounts of
them
something.
at this point with the amount of accounts there's been of the Hulk? And it's not like it's not like Bigfoot where it's out in the middle of the woods and you're getting and like this super low quality picture that could be anything.
Yeah,
It's in cities and very high
photographed.
quality photographs are being taken. It's like at some point people should just be like, yeah, Hulk exists.
Yeah, yeah. What made me laugh even more is the cop that Jack McGee is dealing with over and over again at the end, especially the the Hulk throws a dinghy and like just shocks the shit out of everybody, splashes like jumps into the water. That guy, the rest of them are running after, and that one cop, the main cop, just has his hands in his pockets, just kind of chilling, just kind of staying back. He doesn't look surprised. Like it feels like something is being directed out of order or something. I don't know what's going on in these moments, but yeah, to have any deniability now is we're in. Don't they know we're in season 2 of this? They should know by now that the Hulk is real.
You know, uh, 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 I thought was interesting and kind of funny. The end of the second Hulk out, Hulk just goes and jumps in the water and swims away. I don't know if we've seen him swim before, or not. And I think that's interesting because I'm like, kind of surprised he knows how to swim.
Well, I mean, we probably don't see him in the water too much because I bet the green starts coming off pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
that's what I was thinking was funny. Funny with it. I was like, I'm surprised that they were willing to do a scene where he's in the water because that
Yeah.
would I imagine that that paint would probably come off though he's like in the water. I mean, in the previous episode, one of the goofs on IMDb says that some green paint came off on Lee Sung's robe when Hulk picks him up. If
That
just
shit's not
that
staying
makes
on easily.
if just that makes it come off, I imagine water is
Oh, yeah.
definitely making it come off.
Yeah, they painted up Lou Ferrigno. They said you're diving in this once. We're only getting the shot once because we don't have the paint today. We didn't bring it to the docks, so get it right. And he probably got really nervous and was like, "I'm gonna practice my dive." And he probably practiced for months, because he knew he had this big dive scene coming. I'm guessing, anyways. Have we ever seen the Hulk in the MCU fall in water?
Not
He's always falling
sure.
through buildings, I think. I'm interested to see what the hell they're gonna do with him in the new Spider-Man movie, but I'm keeping my expectations very low. I'm not going to guess how much he's going to be in the movie because I just assume it won't be that much. But because it's like the Red Hulk thing in Brave New World, you're like, okay, now that I've seen it in the trailer, I know it's going to happen, and now that's the best part of the movie. It's all at the
I'm
end.
I'm really hoping that he's in a good bit of the film because because I've said before or I think I've said this to you my dream team up is Spider-Man and Hulk and I know this will probably never happen, but I want like a film where Hulk and Spider-Man are literally co-leads, and it's a really explore their dynamic together and how and them enjoying fighting crime together. Or like the one thing I'm scared of with this film is like
You won't get that
I
feeling.
have keep hearing rumors that is with Hulk that I'm like don't know how I feel about. I'm not gonna spoil them because I don't think
You don't want
you
what if
want to
they're true?
hear
Yeah, yeah. Appreciate that.
hear them, but like there are things I've heard that I'm just like I don't know how I feel about that. But like on the other hand, I'm like and like I trust Destin Daniel Cretton.
Yeah,
He seems like someone who I think would get Hulk right.
yeah, yeah. And I excited to see a fresh take because John Watts did a great job with the first three Spider-Man movies, but getting to have someone else who's clearly a big comic book fan behind the wheel of it is very exciting. It sounds like something that Tom Holland's really proud of as well. So I am excited. I don't know how the fuck all these supporting cast characters are supposed to seamlessly fit in this story or what the hell the main conflict is going to be
Mm-hmm.
since he has so many like sub villains as well and like C-list bad guys to fight, but I assume it'll all be a montage. It'll be something bigger and badder, but
I
I
don't
have
know.
only seen the one trailer, so
Yeah. Well, it's the only trailer that's out. So I would,
God, see, I don't
if
even
you would
I'm
see
daring.
another trailer, I'd be questioning you. I'd be like, what? Did you
I
see
think I saw something on
some
Instagram.
fake AI bullshit?
Oh my god. There's too many of those. That's the thing. I don't know what to trust anymore, and I don't want to accidentally stumble upon because I know that they'll release a new one in a couple of days, probably. I think that was the rumor on Instagram, and it's like, okay, any day now, I'm gonna have to turn all of my social media off, and I just don't want to assume that there's not one out there for me to avoid.
No, it's like I'm still so surprised the Doomsday trailer hasn't come out yet.
I think
Like,
they learn sometimes not to overshadow, because they got people somewhat
mhm.
excited with these little teaser things that I didn't love myself, but I think they're waiting for Spider-Man to do its thing first,
Yeah,
and then we'll get it. So
it just is. It surprises me that they've waited this long after showing a trailer at CinemaCon
yeah,
to
yeah, I'm
release
surprised it
it,
hasn't leaked more.
and and main reason I'm so surprised about it is because I'm like, after there's been like descriptions have come out from CinemaCon, and they on and in this world of AI fake trailers,
Yeah. Oh my God,
is
so many.
I would have, if I were them, I would have like pretty quickly released it online to online, so that people know what is the real one they should be watching, and not watching these bunch of
Yeah.
fake like things. Like
Weed through the
there were
bullshit.
so
Yeah.
many fake ones when the ones that came out in December with that those clip things.
Yeah. Yeah. And each one tells a story or some shit. And the doomsday clock is telling a story or something. And it's like, okay, that's enough. Don't tell me the story before I'm ready to hear about it. And people were saying that
The
that
thing that
even the first Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer was taking forever to come out, and it was like, oh no, it's coming out 3 months before the movie. That's pretty standard. But it's like they have to. They're so desperate, or they've never really recovered from the drop in viewership and stuff that they had after the big boom and like oversaturation, that I think they're so unsure of how to market now, and it's like, just just be minimal, just show us very little, get people excited just enough, and then keep the secrets, keep the surprises. That's how they should market, but they won't do that.
I kind of disagree with that. That I think that them doing not enough marketing has been why a lot of things haven't done as well.
Mm,
I like so many of the TV shows, they wait so long to start marketing them. And it's and then they don't put a lot out out of marketing, and I think that's screwing over a lot of the shows. And then and like sometimes I'm the same with the movies.
I think it's just about the selective, like they got to show the right stuff to get people hooked, but not show too much that they feel they've seen
Yeah,
all that the
I
movie has.
I think like the thing is, they're I think they're forgetting and kind of what was the sweet spot for marketing and back when stuff like Infinity War came out. That
Yeah.
sweet spot was there was a lot of marketing, but not everything was actually in the film.
It's smart to do it that way, because especially if you know and you're proud of what you actually are going to release, then you can release something that it's eye-catching and interesting, but it totally throws people off the scent.
Oh.
What you have in
And
the actual
like
movie has to be better than it.
I really do think like I a big thing, and this is something that I think a lot of the studios are struggling with, in regards to marketing, is the fact that that so it used to be that they could really get people hyped up for things by having on regular TV a TV spots that would appear in the commercial cycles multiple times in an hour long program.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like different spots. It would be the same spot appearing multiple times. It would get people hyped up because they kept hearing hearing, I need to go see this film. But
Yeah.
now with the streaming era, most people don't have ads, and so and I think that's hurting them a lot. The fact that they're not hearing nearly as constantly, you need to go see this thing.
I think the tricky thing too with the economy as well is people have to be so much more selective because of movie ticket
Yeah.
prices. What they are going to spend money on right now. There's Supergirl and Jackass coming out. I want to see both in theaters. Will I be able to see both in theaters? I don't know. We will see, because that's $20 out of my pocket that I might have to wait till cheap night or something. But
Mhm.
it's tricky to get people geared up to experience something that they could experience at home just a few months later for a lot less cost, because they're coming out on streaming services so much faster. I do remember looking away from the Thunderbolts trailer that would pop up on my Disney Plus package because I'm streaming and watching something like Modern Family or whatever, and the Thunderbolts would come up, and I'd look away, and I'm like, I haven't seen a trailer for this yet, and my wife would just be making fun of me and like, oh no, you're gonna know the whole movie, and I'm like, no, but seriously, I don't want to know anything. I want to go in blind, but that's just me.
Mhm. But like, I get wanting to go in blind. I think though. The thing is, you're not who the marketing's for. To be honest,
True.
like,
I'm already
honest,
gonna go see it.
you're going to go see it. Anyways, the marketing is for the general audience, people who aren't sure whether they're going to see it or not. And I don't think they're doing enough with the marketing to get the general audience to go see things lately.
It's fair. I think one of the things too is the importance that they put on, and to me it showed like to the importance they put on the first weekend sales. It's like, okay, top of the box office on their first opening weekend. It's almost like they're scared of people seeing it a later weekend or week, because I don't know, they're worried about word of mouth coming out and people being like, I don't really like it, or people talk and then okay, they know the plot or they know the big surprises. But a lot of people will go see something that people talk highly about. It's just hard to keep people from spoiling stuff, is the big problem. But when I see a movie, like if I have no interest in a movie or haven't even heard of something, and then I see like, oh, critics give it crazy good reviews, people won't shut up about it, but they, thankfully nothing gets spoiled for me. If I hear other people are really enjoying something, then I get interested. I get even more interested than before. Everything, everywhere, all at once. I wouldn't have known what the hell to think of it before I heard a billion people say this was amazing, and then it's like, okay, well, you know what, I'm gonna give this a shot. But yeah, with Marvel stuff, it's like they care so much about that first opening weekend, and I get why. It's just that word of mouth will travel, and if people would just be kinder with their spoiling, I don't know. You can't really get people to stop spoiling stuff online either, because people want to talk about it. Like us, we're talking about something that came out in 1978.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning.
Well, okay, back to this Hawk episode. I really liked this character or Tom who thinks he's Ernest Hemingway. I thought he had so much charisma. And honestly, if honestly out of this episode and the last episode, if one of them were to get a spinoff based on it, I would want it to be this one.
Yeah, I'd watch the Hemingway.
I think I think a show about this guy who thinks he's Ernest Hemingway would be a lot of fun.
It would, honestly, and to have him like be the tricky thing is like he talks about how the talent was like burned out of him, and so that's why he can't write. The real reason he can't write is because he's not actually Ernest Hemingway, and he's never been a writer. So to sit down, and that's why his relationship with Robert made me so confused. I was like, has Robert seen him write something, or does he not get that he's? It's fascinating, and you know what? I would watch that with Sherman Hemsley and his wife dealing with him, and what's he gonna go and shoot now? What's he gonna is he gonna have a beard? Is he gonna shave his beard? It's such a silky beard in some scenes. I was like, I want to comb that man. But that's just me. But no, that would be a way better spinoff than Rick Springsteen to the Kung Fu Cop.
Another random propaganda show.
Yeah,
and probably one that would have been very forgettable.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Because there's been, like you said, Simon and Simon came out, and it was the same fucking thing. Had you ever heard of Simon and Simon?
No,
that's not even a good idea for a name for a show. Simon and Simon, come on, you can have any cool last name. Cop Brothers, Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh man,
naming them both after a chipmunk.
So Is there anything else for this episode that you like to talk about?
I love the mental health discussions
Mhm.
that these episodes create. I love that the show has repeatedly dealt with that kind of thing, and I understand that it won't be the last.
Mhm.
There's actually some other episodes coming up that have to do with like institutionalized psychiatric wards and stuff like that, and it makes me excited.
You know, when I read the description of this episode before I'd watched it. I actually thought this was gonna be an episode about them breaking out of prison.
Yeah,
Like I did. I this episode totally blew me away with what it was actually about. I was so surprised.
yeah,
And
very original idea.
happily in a good way. Because I did really enjoy this episode. Uh, what did you think? You really liked this episode?
I really did. Yeah, this episode was far better than the last one, far better than the
Mhm.
Disciple, even though we got to see Lee Sung again. It really cut him short though. And this was a nice fresh episode, completely new stuff. And always
Mhm.
seeing Jack McGee in an episode is like, okay, I need more of that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I would watch a show where where there's no David at all. Just is just like a buddy comedy of Hulk and Jack McGee. It would be hilarious.
So the Hulk, they're transforming, he's just always the Hulk. Maybe they're buddy, maybe they're brothers, maybe they're cops. Maybe Jack McGee knows kung fu. Could be interesting. Could be onto something. Simon
like
and
they're like
McGee.
maybe this
Hulk.
he Jack McGee he stays as a reporter and and Hulk is actually fighting crime like he should be as a superhero. And like Jack McGee's like helps him to solve things.
Yeah. Investigative reporter and hulking green man. Hell yeah. This fall on Fox. Hulk and McGee. Hell yeah. I'd watch that. And
Oh,
once in a while, just for fun, one of them gets electroconvulsive therapy. That would be cool. Throw that in there. I'm sure Hulk would respond really well to it.
oh yeah, definitely.
How many machines would they break in the process of trying to treat him?
Oh man. All right. Oh, uh, uh,
Just imagining
uh,
Jack McGee, like Hulk goes Hulk smash, Jack McGee goes Jack right. And then he just gets out a pen and pad.
wind this episode down. Any final words you'd like to say before I end this off?
I'm excited for future ones. I have no idea what the hell is going to happen next, but I want more
Yeah.
McGee, please.
I'm definitely excited for the next episode.
What's it called?
The next episode is called Kindred Spirits, and the summary says that David Barton joins an expedition that it has found evidence of a prehistoric Hulk and is recognized by a young doctor who was inspired by him. Together, they
Cool.
try to find out if the earlier Hulk might have found a cure.
Oh shit, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, that's. I think that's gonna be a fun one.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Prehistoric.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you like this Scale It Out, please give a 5-star review on our podcast or a 5-star rating on Spotify. I love to hear your thoughts on the episodes. Please let me know. If you'd like to listen to more from me, please subscribe. Many more Ganos showing coming, so keep on the lookout. This again is your host, Smash J. John, signing off.